Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Alright, there has been some updates, and thanks to like Newsday, the patch, we've been able to compile a sort of a timeline, and things are starting to come together in the case of abducted 14-year-old Emmarae Gervasi. So I'm going to go through that here. But I did want to mention that the Suffolk County DA, Ray Turney, he has stated that he's limited in what he can state about cases involving minors. At this point, he's declined to comment on specific individuals involved in her case. But he does state that a grand jury indictment is coming very soon. So I think there's going to be more. I'm telling you, it's big. It seems like every week we got more arrests, and from what I understand, that I found out, New York does not release mugshots of suspects until they're found guilty. So I don't know what's up with that. I feel like if you are charged with a crime and there's enough probable cause, that should be, readily available. But again, it sounds like New York it works a little different. I'm kind of used to Florida and some of the other states where I can easily look up, about a case, and grab their mug shots. But apparently, New York, that doesn't float with New York. So, okay. And when we get them available, definitely we'll post them. Like I said, we have some photos of some of them because they have appeared in court. So I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing more of their faces in the coming weeks, which is, in my opinion, is good. I mean, they all need to be, if you're guilty, you need to be shamed for it. And that's just how it is. All right. And again, these are the current suspects that have been arrested as of right now. And today is February 2nd in the evening as I record this. But nothing surprises me if we have more arrests that we hear about tomorrow. Again, Francis Buckheit, he was the first one. He's the one on the boat. Boonus Knight, Alton Harrell, Daniel Burke, Robert Eccleston, Jacqueline Kaminsky, Elizabeth Hunter, and Kevin McDonald. These are the current suspects that have been arrested and charged in the kidnapping and R-ing or trafficking of 14-year-old Emmarae. And we jump to the timeline here. December 9th at 5 p.m. The girl, which we all know is Emmarae, as I've stated before, Newsday, The Patch, a lot of the outlets will not publish her name. And normally I'm pretty respectful about doing that because she's a minor. But her father, Frank, has been very vocal about it, so I feel like it's out there. So she was picked up from her house in a car that was driven by Alton Harrell, the 35-year-old, who is alleged to have taken her to an abandoned house on Doane Avenue in Bellport, where he's accused of R-ing her per court records. So this is what happened on the night that she allegedly went outside to her father, said to get something out of the car. Again, there's a little, not sure exactly if she went out to meet somebody. That's been stated. Either way, she walked outside of her home. Her father wasn't home, and I guess her stepmother was there. Prosecutors allege that Harrell held the teen for 24 hours at that house, where they alleged she was, quote, not likely to be found, and her parents did not give her permission to be with the defendant nor know where she was, according to a transcript of his arraignment on the charges of the second-degree kidnapping, second-degree R, and endangering the welfare of a child. So regardless of whether the fact that she went with this Alton guy, got in his car willingly or not, it doesn't matter. She's 14 years old, and her parents didn't give her permission, and you can't consent to any of this stuff as a minor. So there you go. Then the next day, which was December 10th, this is about 6 p.m., authorities allege that the teen victim spent the next several days at locations between Bohemia and Islip. So she was really never very far from her home. Daniel Burke, who's 63 years old, is accused of abducting the 14-year-old and holding her in his mobile home on Valley Forge Drive in Bohemia for more than 12 hours between the evenings of December 10th and December 13th. Per the criminal complaint, he is charged with first-degree kidnapping, second-degree R, and endangering the welfare of a child. The victim is also alleged to have been held at a detached garage behind a home on Monell Avenue in Islip during that same time period. This is where Robert Elkinston, who resides at the home, is accused of having sex with her. And I just say he's not accused of having sex. He's accused of forcing her, R-ing her, with her twice. He is charged with second-degree kidnapping, second-degree R, as well as endangering the welfare of a child. Still on December 10th of last year, according to court records, documents show the teen being taken to yet another location, which is 2 blocks west of Doyne Avenue on Michigan Avenue in Bellport, with 20-year-old Kevin McDonald, who lives in Medford. It's not clear how the victim ended up in this new location with a second person, but McDonald allegedly smoked marijuana and had his way with her inside of a 1998 Honda Accord, apparently in the back seat, somewhere between 5 and 6 p.m. A criminal complaint has charged him with second-degree R, as well as endangering the welfare of a child. Now, McDonald would later drive her to a motel in Bohemia. She's being passed around until she ends up on that boat for a longer period of time. And we jump to December 13th at 12 a.m. The teen victim was found on a boat located in a canal in Islip just outside of Whitecap Fish Market. Now that's in January, but this is when she arrives on this boat that belongs to Buckheit. Court records show the victim spent most of the final 3 weeks of her disappearance less than a mile from Ecclestein's house in a 56-foot 1988 Ocean Alexander boat owned by Francis Buckheit, the 64-year-old from East Islip, and he has a criminal history. He has been charged with first-degree kidnapping as well as second-degree R in connection with her disappearance. Buckheit was the first person charged in the case. He is alleged to have kept the teen behind netting covering the hull of his boat, which law enforcement sources state was in poor condition at the Main Street Marina until she was found on the morning of January 3rd. That's when she was found by her father by that tip. So she spent the majority of her time on that boat. And we have December 13th through December 20th of 2024. This is where Elizabeth Hunter, 34 years old, she's alleged to have spent a week on the boat with the teen from December 20th till around December 13th, till December 20th. While on the boat, this woman is accused of taking nude and sexually explicit photographs of Emmarae to advertise her for commercial sex in exchange for rugs and money, per prosecutors at her arraignment. Court records are alleging these photos were taken and sent to various individuals, but it's not stated how these images were distributed. That's a little scary because we already have, look at how many people we're nailing up to. I wouldn't be surprised if we're at 10 or more before you know it. So where do these photos go? It doesn't take long to put them on the internet, and sadly, we all know nothing's ever really gone from the internet. So who knows who has these images at this point? Hunter has been charged with child sex trafficking, promoting a sexual performance by a child, and endangering the welfare of a child. She is also listed as a witness in the criminal complaints charging Buckheit, Burke, and Eccleston. So obviously she didn't have relations with her, but she contributed to all the criminal acts going on, and she used her. Instead of helping her, she made things much, much worse. And then we go to January 2nd of this year at 5 p.m. Jacqueline Kaminsky, 52 years old, is also charged with child sex trafficking and endangering the welfare of a child in connection with the missing teen. She's alleged to have taken the girl to a home on Gervas Avenue in Copenhagen between 5 and 6 p.m. on January 2nd, just hours before she was discovered back on the boat. Kaminsky is alleged to have traded her to a resident of that home in Copenhagen for rugs. Yeah. So the women were all about rugs and money. Also on December 2nd, Bruce Knight, 47, he was arrested on January 13th, and he was charged with R-ing and 3 counts of criminal sale of a controlled substance. He is alleged to have had sex with her in his home on the evening of January 2nd, according to the criminal complaint. All monsters, awful, awful people, and there they are. And I'm going to share any of the photos I do have. And she was held in that boat, more than one residence. She was abused, taken advantage of. She was rugged, ard, and God knows what else this poor girl went through. And I am thankful to hear that Suffolk County, as well as whatever other law enforcement is involved in this case, has been working their asses off. And I'm glad to hear that the district attorney is not playing games with these guys. All of their lawyers, all of these folks' lawyers, they're all trying to claim that they're not involved and there's more to the story. Again, that's the crap they're throwing out there. So I would love to hear what they think is more to the story. But at this point, we're going to continue to be here and report on this. And I'm definitely going to be continuing to cover this all the way through, guys. Because Emmarae deserves justice. And there's other girls that are missing not far from where she lives. So who knows? Have they been abducted and trafficked? Apparently it's quite a big problem in that area, from what I understand. So it's a sad, sad world that we live in, when people can be picked up and they're in a bad condition. She had some issues with rugs. Apparently she had a monitor. She was on probation, had some other things going on in her life, but her family was trying to get her back, straightened back up. So I don't know if she was talking to people online and she got mixed up with the wrong, folks. I don't know if she knew what she was getting into. But again, even if she went with these people willingly, she was attacked, she was ard, and she's a child. Alright guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.